In this video, we're going to talk about conditional evaluation in Rebol. So we're here on the Electronics Wiki in our function reference, so we're going to click on down to branch. So here's what we have available. You're going to see if, either, all, any, case, switch, and unless. So probably more than half of those you could guess at what they do. But some of them are going to be a little different. So let's look at some examples. Flip on over here. Actually, I pulled these examples from a training class I did about 10 years ago on Rebol within Atronics, and this is just some markdown stuff here, but we're going to look at the Rebol snippets. So if statements. We talked about comparisons before. This is kind of a practical example in our industry. So it's really basically what you would expect. You have your if, you have a comparison, and then you have a block of code to execute if that comparison is true. So we have if temperature greater than alarm set point, it's going to print too hot to the console. So obviously you have to have temperature and alarm set point words defined, or you'll get an error. So one thing about Rebol which throws some people off is the fact that there is no if-else construct. Not in Rebol 3. In Rebol 2, they had else in there as a refinement, so you can do an if/else, and then you would have block. The first block would be the true block, the second block would be the else block. But that was dropped in the design of Rebol 3. So what you have in its place is either. So if you go down to that third example there, so we have either, and that's really just an if-else. So in the example, we have either at temperature, question mark, and then we have our true block and our false block. So really, it is a little strange coming from other languages. Hey, where the hell is my else? But either is a little bit more succinct. So you have a true block and a false block. Now, another common pattern is if not. So you can do an if not. You can do that pattern in Rebol, but a more succinct way of doing that is to use unless. So instead of saying if not at temperature, apply heat, you just say unless at temperature. So that is something that's a little different from other languages. And then two other common patterns are if you're doing this or that, you can have a whole string of things, and that is any. So and that's combined with the if. So if you say if any, and then inside of your block it's evaluated, and the any function takes that block and looks at each expression or comparison or function call, whatever you want to put in there. And as soon as it finds something that evaluates to true, it will execute the block following it, which is in this case we're saying if any, are you full, are you stuffed, are you bloated? So if any of those things are true, then you ate too much, as our little trivial example there. Now all, same idea, if all. So the all function is going to look in that block, and everything in that block needs to evaluate the true. So another trivial example, if I've got my keys and my wallet and my phone and my watch, well, you can tell this was done 10 years ago. I haven't worn a watch in a while. Got the wedding ring, then print, you're ready to face the world. So if any, if all, with the conditional block of expressions, it's very clean way to execute this type of logic. Compared to doing a lot of anding and a lot of oring. So we've talked about something evaluating the true or something evaluating the false. So what is truth? And basically in Rebol, a true expression is any value that is returned other than false or none. None being the absence of a value. It's sort of like null in SQL. So that's pretty much it for this video. In a subsequent one, we will look at some of the other branching logic, which includes case and switch. But you can certainly go to the wiki and look at the documentation for that and play with it. Thank you for watching.